Well, the Bengals beat the Titans, even their record at 2-2, and continue to make a push after their slow start. Let's get into our keys to victory plus a prediction for Sunday's game. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and, well, we hope to see you in Nashville. Certainly making the trip down to Tennessee, and man, that's been the home away from home. It seems like going to Kansas City is an annual event, and going to Nashville is an annual event for Bengals fans, media, and certainly this team. This Bengals team, they've handled the Titans and they've been able to beat them, but all of these games, the divisional matchup last year, they're tight, they're physical. And so there's plenty to get into when it comes to that. But today's video brought to you by Rivertown Inkery and rivertowninkery.com. Doug and his team do a tremendous job. So whether you want a little Cincinnati Bengals talk swag, which not only do we have the dad hat, but we have the rope hat as well available at rivertowninkery.com, or all of their other orange and black gear. Just check it out. Go online, rivertowninkery.com as you're watching this video, or you can check out their Findlay Market location or their store in Oakley, two different locations for your convenience here in Cincinnati. Let's dive into it. And keys to victory, number one, it's pretty simple. Joe Burrow, protect that man. And protect that man against a front that is really loaded. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons, you got Autry, you have multiple guys that you're going to see try to get after Burrow, try to make Burrow uncomfortable. And we just don't know how much he's going to be able to move. And I think for the foreseeable future, I've tempered my expectations. I know Zach Taylor, Brian Callahan, even Joe Burrow, they say they expect the offense, the expectations, at least for the offense, are the exact same. And I get that internally. Me personally, I don't know if I can expect that from Joe Burrow until I see him get a bit healthier. I think he's a warrior. I think he played pretty well on Monday night, considering the circumstances. But I wonder if this week, if he was able to balance it out and figure out exactly how he can play with this and be even more effective than he was on Monday night, where, like I said, he played pretty well, would have thrown for 300 plus yards had there not been some drops. And yet it clearly wasn't the normal Joe Burrow from an accuracy standpoint. Certainly couldn't move like he normally would move. So protecting Joe Burrow is the key. Don't let Jeffrey Simmons wreck the game. Don't give up a bunch of sacks. And this Bengals offensive line, I think they've performed really, really well so far. And they're going to get tested again on Sunday. And this is one of the toughest tests. These guys referring to this matchup as an AFC North matchup, it's going to feel that way. And so key number one, protect Joe Burrow. If you give him time, I think he's going to make the right decisions. The offense might not be perfect. They might not score 40 points, but I do think that they will be effective. Key number two, you got to make sure that you can bottle up King Henry. And they've done a really good job of this. They really have. But you have to keep it up. And Derrick Henry averaging 3.2-ish yards per carry through 3 games. He's been bottled up. Don't be the team that lets him go off and turn back the clock behind a bad offensive line, behind an offensive line that has struggled, that should continue to struggle on Sunday. We'll get to more of them on them in a second. The other guy to be aware of, just obviously stopping Derrick Henry is where it starts, but a guy we talked about pre-draft, Tyjae Spears, love his game. Out of Tulane, he went to the Titans. Hate them for that because I think he would have been a really, really fun piece in this offense. He gives them a different dynamic. And so it's not just Henry. I think Spears is going to be out there. He's a good pass catcher. He's elusive. Henry's the type of guy, he needs to get going. And if you can hit him before he gets going, make him change direction, he struggles a bit and isn't the same Derrick Henry that we've seen be an all-world running back. Spears is shifty, quick, all of the above, does run with some power as well, can catch out of the backfield at a high level. So bottling up that run game, what that's going to do is put pressure on Ryan Tannehill. And that brings me to key number 3. You got to heat up Ryan Tannehill. And whether it's Trey Hendrickson going up against Andre Dillard, whether it's any of these other matchups across the line, DJ Reader, who got the first sack last week and started the sack party against the Rams, that has to be such a key. Get heat on Ryan Tannehill, because if you bottle up Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears. And then you're getting pressure on Tannehill. You know what he's going to do? He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to make a turnover worthy throw or two and give Dax Hill or Nick Scott or Chidobe Awuzie or DJ Turner or Cam Taylor-Britt or Mike Hilton or Logan Wilson. I should have probably started with him, or Jermaine Pratt. He's going to give these guys opportunities to make a play on the ball. And obviously you have to take advantage, but I think a big reason why the Bengals won last week, and I think the way they need to win is with defense. A big part of that is forcing turnovers, winning the turnover battle. So if you protect Joe Burrow, he's going to be smart with the football. On the other side, if you pressure Ryan Tannehill, and even if you don't, he might make a turnover-worthy throw or two, but if you pressure him, he's almost certainly going to give you a chance or two, maybe more, to make a play on the football and really swing the game in your direction. So those are three very, very important keys for the Bengals to get them back to 500 and to get them going in the right direction. And look, it's an ugly game. And I think that anytime you play the Titans, it's going to be an ugly game. These are physical games. I was talking to multiple receivers, and these guys on Tennessee secondary, they're willing to grab and they're willing to be physical. And so key number 4, wide receivers winning the physical matchups that they need to. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean just winning one-on-one, but if you're being grabbed by Christian Fulton or you're being grabbed by Roger McCreary or whoever it is, play through it, fight through it. Because if you do that, you're probably going to draw a holding penalty anyways. But you're also going to not get phased by it, phased by the physicality. And I don't think they will. These guys, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, they're studs. And we know that. And so T. Higgins, for example, I know there's been some concern. No concern. He's going back to his home state, talked with him on Thursday. I think he's going to have a huge, huge game on Sunday. I think he loves this matchup. He loves the physicality. He loves going back home and showing off in front of his family and friends. And I expect him to do that again on Sunday. So wide receivers, don't let the physicality bother you. Play through it and win when you need to. I think they will. I think Jamar Chase got going last week. That continues this week. Those two guys, especially Higgins and Chase, I expect both of them to have big games. So those are 4 keys. I have one more. Just want to get to some notes though. In first things first, Charlie Jones out for this game. Irv Smith Jr. out for this game. Irv Smith dealing with a hamstring, suffered it in practice last week, missed the Monday night game, out again. Hopefully he can get back in practice next week and start to move forward in the right direction. Charlie Jones dealing with a thumb injury. I think that this is a precautionary thing as much as anything. You don't want this to linger. It's really hard to catch a football, to field a punt. And so we'll see who the punt returner is. You might know by the time you see this video. I could certainly see Trenton Irwin returning punts this week, but we'll see which way they lean. And key number 5, and my 5th key, and it goes hand in hand offensive wise, but someone else step up to make life easier on Jamar Chase. I'll throw T. Higgins in there, and then obviously Joe Burrow. Asking Joe Burrow to throw 50 times, and I know it worked last week, and some of those were RPOs where he decided to throw, but they were going to be runs. I get it. But whether it's Joe Mixon, who did step up last week, there's no doubt he's played really well. Whether it's Tanner Hudson, who had a really big catch last week, you're going to need, at some point in this game, you're going to need someone to come up big in a swing moment. Is it one of these other running backs behind Mixon? That would be huge if someone could emerge, whether it's Travion Williams or Chris Evans or Chase Brown. And it might not be in that order. We'll see. But one of those guys, if they can emerge, if Tanner Hudson emerges even more and has a real impact outside of what he did last week, where he did have a couple nice catches, including one of the more explosive plays in the game. You need one of these dark horses on offense to make an impact. And it might just be one play. It might be a 4th down conversion or a red zone play to Travion Williams or Chris Evans or Chase Brown, 4th and 1. Like there's a lot of different ways that it could go, but there's going to be a play in this game where you need someone else outside of the stars on offense to step up and make a play. And so hopefully they can do that, because if they do that, I think the Bengals are the better team. I think they're more talented. And when you think better team, more talent, I think the Bengals get a win on Sunday. I'm taking the Bengals to score 23 points, 23-16. They beat the Titans. It's going to be unfun. It's not going to be fun because it'll be physical, but you'll look up and they haven't lit up the scoreboard, but they're going to be able to grind their way to a victory against the Titans team that wants to muck it up. But to me, this Bengals team is built to play in games like this. They don't have to run it 50 times to be effective. Joe Burrow understands how to manage games like this, what throws to make, what throws not to make. And who knows? Maybe the offense is more explosive than I anticipate. Maybe he's able to throw at a higher level, because if this was 100% Joe Burrow, I would feel much, much better about this prediction, and I even think that they would win by more. I think this is still going to be one of those grinded out type games like it has been in recent years, not because of the offensive line, which was the case last year to a degree, and certainly in the divisional matchup 2 years ago, but more so because Burrow is limited a bit. And with the Titans defense knowing that he's limited, I think it makes it that much harder to defend, but still, or much easier to defend. But still, I'm going with the road team. The Bengals get to 2-2, 23-16. Give me your prediction in the comments. Like this video, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. And for Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapine. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in Nashville right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.